Hey man, I don't know if you've exhaled yet, but you can exhale. The game is over. It was certainly stressful. Watching it with our father, he was certainly stressing about it a little bit. Some surprises there, entertaining. But
Yeah.
so, but it was a really fun game to watch. It ended up probably being the most fun game of the weekend, to be completely honest. I understand if you're a Cowboys hater, you probably didn't enjoy the outcome much at all. But for anyone who's either neutral or something like that, just wanted a good game, it was pretty fun. Um, Walk me through what you thought of this game.
Well, I'd say the tale of two halves in many regards. The first half was very back and forth. I thought it was like a well paced game. A little bit of frustration, I think, for me on Dallas just not completing some drives there. Just felt like things weren't 100% clicking. And I think especially there in the first quarter. But it was like, okay, cool. I can see the momentum. We're getting some stuff done. Russ was under some pressure, and I was like, okay, cool. This is going about the direction I thought. And then halftime came and went, and it just kind of imploded in some regards from there. There are still plenty of highlight. It was a highlight machine kind of game, especially if you're a wide receiver fan. For the Giants in particular, Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson look like the best duo in football. And I think it exposed maybe the importance of Deron Bland, but I think it's beyond that. I think in the second half, we stuck with the same general principle and scheme that we had in the first half, which seemed to be more let's not give up the mid game and the short game. And we just left the back door wide like open, and man, you got to give it to him. And I do hate to. Russ was phenomenal. Like I don't think Russ has had a game like this in a while. But he just couldn't miss. Like they're phenomenal wide receivers, but he was right on the target over and over and over.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of positives. It's hard not to praise the Giants in general. It was fun seeing Cam. I just would rather have seen him do some cool things against somebody, not us. But he broke out and got a 20-yard touchdown. That was a pretty impressive run. On the Dallas side, there were lots of things working. Jake Ferguson was actively engaged in the game. Was a big part of moving us up and down the field. So that was a big thing because it felt like he was not as focused maybe on the first game. CD was himself. Pickens, of course, got a touchdown, so it was good to see that. One of the concerning things in many regards was Turpin getting injured with a neck injury. Not sure exactly how bad that is. Hopefully it's something quick. But that was a real thing. And Javonte Williams. So I'm coming around quickly on Javonte Williams and why we picked him, how he fits in, and what he's willing to give to the team. He had some really impressive runs in the way I like to see running backs run. Very aggressive, was willing to put his head down and just charge in over people, but at the same time was also on other plays willing to sit behind the line, let it develop, and then take off. So I really enjoyed that. He also caught some passes and went out as well. So I really enjoyed what I saw on offense. Would you agree with that part?
Yeah, I think so. Just having kind of bring it up, it's maybe pointless. It was prolific numbers. I think like take into account half of the scoring came after the third quarter. So it was slow goings. It was like both teams, when they got to desperate, things just worked. So I don't think that this is obviously a sustainable model for either team. But it was really fun to watch. Again, from the outside, Javonte, to your point, I think this is, just for the record, not to bash it. If this is him in his best, that's fine. But I do think this is just about the best that you're going to see from him. I'm somewhat higher on him than the average bear even, but like he's a good running back. I'm not sure that I'm expecting Derrick Henry-like numbers consistently. So although Derrick didn't have a particularly great week, so fair point. I do think it's funny. I was looking this up. Right now, CeeDee Lamb is on pace to have 1,887 yards and 0 touchdowns. Just a fun little statistical anomaly there. Not really, doesn't do anything. Don't get me wrong. But
It's a backhanded compliment.
it really is. But I mean, I'm a Cardinals fan. So last year, I think Trey McBride set the record for the most receptions without a touchdown or something like that. It was like 100 receptions before he got his first touchdown of the year. Anyway, it's a backhanded compliment with a bit of sympathy attached to it. So
much appreciated.
Dak played really well. He turned over the ball the one time, and I'm trying to remember the circumstances of that interception. Was that the one that got tipped? Do you remember? I'd have to go look it up.
Yeah, it wasn't a clean interception. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I thought y'all played really well. And in the overtime, I honestly thought for a minute it was going to be a tie.
Yeah.
So we would get our first tie of the year. But, yeah, man, it was good. So, about the injuries. They've already brought in Jadeveon Clowney. Is that what I saw?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, tell me about. I mean, it sounded like he wasn't maybe quite ready to play immediately, or at least play very much. He is 32 years old. He might need a minute to kind of get into football shape. But he doesn't exactly scratch the itches that we've talked about might have started itching during this game, so to speak. So, I mean, you lose one of your offensive linemen. You have kind of an unknown on one of your main corners, and they get a pass rusher. Do you expect them to go out and get another free agent? I know you've had, I don't know if he's still even available or wanting to be available. Like Stephon Gilmore came in when one of your corners went down last year, I think it was last year. Yeah. And so you have a relationship with some guys like that. Do you expect them to go out and make a move?
I think that I would expect that they're pending true analysis on where Bland really is, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, I guess going to your point is like Elam looked pretty vulnerable. Maybe that's right. Out there, right? And so there's that. I don't know that I expect them to do that right now, partly because I think the bigger problem may be on our offensive line at the moment. And so I would hope that they're solving that problem first, and then we can talk corners after that. But I think Clowney comes in. One of the things that did go really well in this game, and has been a good trend, is that we got run over literally last year.
Yeah.
Here's another team that the Giants are not, in my opinion, a great running team, but they're a decent running team. The Tyrone Tracy Jr. has been solid, and this is a second team where we've really held them pretty well in check in a row. With the Eagles, what we let get out of hand was their quarterback. So, outside of that, we're holding people in check. That part of the game is working well. Kenny Clark had a sack, and Odighizuwa was right there with him. They're getting a lot of pressure. So adding Jadeveon Clowney, who, I mean, he had almost 10 sacks, I think, 2 seasons ago, which is great. That'd be phenomenal. But he has been, I think, a much more devastating run stopper for years. And that I would happily take as just an even more oppressive, containment kind of centric guy. And going back to the point about his fit, where he is, and I don't mean to suggest that I think he's out of shape like he's way better shape than I am, but like just we're 100% ready to be in all the games and all that. While he's doing that, we're getting pressure as it is. We got 3 sacks. We're getting some pressure, so he's got some time to step into that role and just be a contributor, which I'm excited to see what they do with that. So there is that, but I am much more concerned at the moment about Cooper Beebe going down for it sounds like 6 to 8 weeks, which is not the most optimistic thing in the world. That offensive line, I felt like during that game, the Giants obviously have really remarkable front four as well, so they were under duress. I'm concerned going forward about what that's going to look like going into next week. Cooper, I think, has been a real value since we picked him up. So that's how I view it. Do you think this similarly on the injury line?
Yeah,
I mean, do you expect them to go pick up a corner?
I wouldn't be surprised if they picked up a corner. It's oddly easier to add a corner in mid-season than to add an offensive lineman into your starting rotation, just because of that cohesion that they build, even with the backups. But the backups have, they at least know each other and have communicated, and so it's not a particularly good plug and play position. So We'll see. If he's going to be gone, then they'll probably add someone to the roster at least for the next 6 to 8 weeks while he's on IR. But the corner thing is something you could bring someone in and just say, "Hey, this is Mike, and that's Mike Evans. Go please guard him. Thank you very much."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I would see. But like a big blockbuster move for, well, not Quentin Nelson because they're 2-0, but like one of the Dolphins guards, if you even want something like that, maybe. But it doesn't usually happen that way. So we'll see. And thank goodness it sounds like he's not done for the year, so he should be back.
Yeah.
So you can survive.
You just need a bridge to him.
Not lose another 1 or 2 more offensive linemen in the next 6 to 8 weeks. You could probably be okay. I feel like most decent offensive lines can sustain the loss of one of the guys, but you get to 2 or 3 of them down and you start to see some real problems. More often than not. So there's one other potential injury they may need to look into. I think all the officials had to get Tommy John surgery. They threw like 26 accepted penalties in this game.
Yeah.
I felt like this was one of those old operas or something like that, where it was like a Flight of the Zebras or something, where they were just everywhere. It's getting a little old. There've been a lot of officiating this year so far.
In general. Yeah.
I just need to calm down.
Well, there's an interesting point about that, though, and I was thinking about, meant to bring up with you was, this is the second game of the season, and Dallas has been, I was gonna say, in a brawl with both teams in their division up front, like beyond the norm. Like, I cannot think of the name of the guy who got kicked out of this game as well, or pulled out. He didn't get kicked out; he got pulled out, which. Yeah, I do respect the coach for doing it. I don't really know all the circumstances. I don't want to pretend like I do, but things were definitely wildly out of hand there. But I mean, I like things to be pretty boisterous between division rivals, honestly. But it's still within the realm of fair play, if you will.
Yeah.
So that was pretty bizarre. But I think it's interesting how vitriolic it is in our division right now. Maybe just between us, I'll be interested to see how the other teams play against, let's say, the Giants, Eagles, and all that. Is it the same, or is it just, hey, for some reason Dallas is ticking everyone off as we go in? I don't know.
That's certainly the trend from outside the league, from fans and such. That seems to be the fan. The case. But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, and you play the Packers in a couple weeks, so we'll see how that ends up looking. But I don't think there's any bad blood there, really. Michael Parsons, you freed him up to go and make an incredible fortune. So I don't know why there would be any bad blood at this point. Yep. It is what it is. So we'll see. But we got a couple weeks before that, and we get a few more weeks until you play your next division opponent. So you should get some time of people not getting punches thrown at them. So. In fact, who is it next week? You guys play the Bears. This should be a good game. The Bears have had some interesting fight in the last couple of weeks, so it's a good matchup for you both. Okay, but we'll get into that game more later, a little later this week. But until then, let's wrap this one up. This is We Are the Game. I'm looking at Michael. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers sometime this season. We really appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. We look forward to talking about football every week. We talk about Dallas. We talk about Arizona. And we talk about the NFL at large. And we just have a good time. So let us know in the comments what you think. Was there another injury that we missed? Was there something else that we didn't talk about that you found really interesting? Please let us know. We love this stuff. So until next time, you all have a fantastic day.